Previously on Returning to Runescape.
So I welcome you to my training arc. And they're pretty cute. I'm going pew pew pew. Of course I would run out of run energy right here, and he's gonna okay. Where did all my lobsters go? Well, that's not good. We'll be right back, because I'm an idiot and I put my food back in the bank somehow. Range. Come on, hit the bastard. Range. Mage, I meant. Guys, we just got fire cape. Guys, we just got the fire cape. Let's go, boys. Well, boys, life has been pretty great ever since getting my fire cape. I've been doing so much stuff, it's not even funny. Nah, I'm just kidding. I just stand at the Grand Exchange all day for hours on end, and I tell everyone to look at how cool my cape is and how great I am. It's been absolutely amazing. This is what I did the fight caves for. But eventually, after a while, my arms started to feel like rubber with how much flexing I've been doing. So I decided it was probably for the best that I did something and got out there in the world of RuneScape again. So I decided it was time to take up our journey of questing, and we dived back into the optimal quest guide. Where we left off was right after we finished recruitment drive. And now the guide was recommending me to complete Sleeping Giants quest, which apparently would give me access to a new means of training smithing via the Giants Foundry minigame. So I did exactly that. First, I gathered up all the stuff we were going to need at the Grand Exchange, and we were off. Now, the Sleeping Giants quest was actually kind of enjoyable. It even made me feel a bunch of regret for all the hill giants I may or may not have slaughtered in my early days. Allegedly. Allegedly. I don't really know how good the minigame is as far as smithing experience goes, but if it's anything like how I had to do it in the quest, it's definitely a nice change of pace compared to just sitting in Varrock Bank and making plate bodies all day. So I consider that a win. After we finished that quest and gained access to the minigame, the next quest up on the optimal quest guide was Fight Arena. This quest was pretty straightforward. I attempt to save a family from being forced to fight in a gladiator pit for the amusement of this skeletal prick, and one by one his challengers fell to my oversized mallet. Even his very spiky demonic puppy stood no chance. And once his puppy drew its last demonic breath, it was apparent that even this evil son of a bee did love at least one thing in this world. And thanks to me, it no longer existed. So needless to say, he wasn't my biggest fan. But fuck him. It was time to send him to hell to be with Cujo for eternity. Or so I thought. Because upon his defeat, it was revealed that he wasn't going to be that easy to dispatch of, boys. But at least I took solace in the fact that the family was saved. And with that, the Fight Arena quest was complete. You know, one of my favorite movies growing up was Jurassic Park. So you could guess my excitement when I found out I could go play archaeologist in the next quest up, the dig site. And you could also guess my disappointment when I found out there was not going to be any dinosaurs. But I sucked it up and I embarked on the quest anyway. This quest was essentially me honing my skills of being able to run between two places and talking to the same person over and over while completing little menial tasks for them so I could proceed to the finish line of discovering something cool. And that we did. Eventually, I embodied the inner Alan Grant in me and I discovered a strange talisman. Funny enough, the wiki said it could take quite a while to discover this, but I was lucky enough to unearth it on my first dig. Obviously, I'm a natural. All those hours watching Jurassic Park as a kid finally paid off, boys. So now that I was going to be recognized as a very, very famous archaeologist, and finally starting to be known in the world of RuneScape, not just for my dashing good look, or the sexy cape on my back, but for my intelligence. And after being told how great I was for discovering this artifact, through a few course of events, I eventually discovered a strange rock atop an even stranger religious symbol. Jinkies, boys. I smell a mystery. After I finished the dig site, I made my way back to the Grand Exchange, because I thought I was going to be doing another quest. But something caught my eye, boys. Something I was not expecting. Something that could very well be the most powerful thing in all of RuneScape. The overwhelming power of this little guy's cuteness. I mean, look at him. Look at that face. I knew he had to be mine. So without delay, I loaded up the old school wiki because this cute little bugger was just melting my heart. And with a little research, I found out it was the Callisto Cub and could be dropped from Callisto, obviously, and his weaker variant, Ardeo. And I knew it would be best if I went for Ardeo. But in order to get there, I needed to do the Wilderness Medium Diary and the easy as well. But the medium one was the one that was going to hold me back because I needed 55 mining and what I thought was 60 agility and 61 woodcutting. So I figured, let the grinds begin. Training these three skills was honestly not that bad. nothing compared to my previous grind of getting 50 in all of the skills. Agility being the longest, as I'm sure you could have guessed. And it wasn't until I was already level 55 in agility that I came to realize that I could have just used a strength potion and gotten into the God Wars dungeon that way. Oh well, I now have 150 marks of grace, and I'm sure the levels will help me with quests further down the line. Mining didn't take that long either. It was probably a little over an hour or so of mining some iron ore in the Alcarid mine. Bam, I was level 55. So with those two out of the way, I now only needed to get one woodcutting level in order to reach level 61 so I could cut down some ents. So I returned to my little band of misfit degenerates over in world 444 and I cut some willows. And in no time, I had all 3 skill requirements out of the way. And I simply had to do 2 little quests and I was set. The quest I needed to do was the fishing contest and Between a Rock. And honestly, once I saw these quests involved helping the dwarven citizens out, I immediately jumped at the opportunity to try and make amends for what I may or may not have done in the past. These quests were simple enough. Basically, all I had to do was cheat to win a fishing contest and hand over the trophy. All right, fishing contest is done. That was pretty painless. Perfect. All right. And second, all I had to do was get far enough along in the quest line to the point where I could craft a golden helmet so that I could do that out in the deep reaches of the wilderness. All in all, these quests were fairly quick and I had them done in under an hour. So one by one, we started knocking off each and every little diary entry that we had to complete. None of them were actually too challenging. All of them were a little scary, specifically the ones where you had to go out into the far reaches of the wilderness, but I didn't really risk anything, so even if I did get PK'd, I wasn't too worried about it. And after a while, and by a while I say this probably took me a little over an hour or so to complete, we finally finished our last entry. Boys, we did it. We now have access to a bunch of new bosses, not just Artio. So now we can finally get our little cub. And with that, it is official. We are now starting our first pet grind on the account, boys. And I knew going into this, we're gonna die a bunch. We're gonna die is what we're gonna do, apparently. Because I tried to teleport out. But if the fight caves taught me anything, it's you're gonna die a lot. Fuck. Damn it. You might as well just get used to it. It's okay. And dying to Artio is a much less punishing death than it ever was when you were already 2.5 hours in on the fight caves. And I want this cute, cuddly little bear following me around everywhere I go. So I don't care how many times I die. I know it's going to be worth it. Come on, die. Yeah, boys, we did it. I got 12,000 coins. I got 12,000 coins. Okay. Our first RDO kill. Holy crap, boys. Incredibly inefficient. But we killed him. And we're down like probably 100K. But it's okay. Because we actually did it. And that's all that matters. Alright boys, as you just saw, we managed to actually kill Artio. This boss fight had a lot more mechanics than what I was prepared for. But after doing a tad bit of research, we were able to come out on top. Now, over the course of the next day or so, I would actually go on to get about 20 KC at Artio, and by the time I got the 20th kill, I was quite a bit better at defeating this angry murder yogi. Was I lucky enough to get the pet, you ask? No. No, I was not. But I was not going to give up there, boys. But before I got ahead of myself and I really dived too hard into this pet hunt, there was something I needed to do. You see, having to manually switch over and cast snare every 10 seconds was definitely annoying, and it was a clear hindrance in my kill times. So I knew it was about time. I've mentioned it before, but it was time to go out into the desert and search for treasure. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I thank you guys so much, like always, for watching and supporting me on this incredible journey through the lands of RuneScape. I invite you to the next episode where we visit a strange new land that has just appeared in the Western Horizons, and we search the desert for all its strange hidden treasures. You don't want to miss it.